Hey, everybody, and welcome to episode 15. We're at the semifinals of the Premodern Showdown Series 2. I'm Michael Hoyp. I'm joined, as always, by Flint Espel. Say hi, Flint.
Hi, everybody.
And as you can see, our schedule looks a little bit different, and that's because we have finished the round robin portion of our series, and now we are at the semifinals. So the first seed, Robin Lundh, will be playing against the fourth seed, Gabe Farkas, and that'll be our first match. And so our second match is contingent on when we finish this match. We are playing a best of five, when in the past we've played a best of three match. So we've said if we're able to start by 11 p.m. Eastern, then we will play the second semifinals tonight. Otherwise, we're going to push back that semifinals to Wednesday and then also push back the finals to the next Monday. So potentially we have two matches of Magic tonight, or maybe one, depending on the time. So we'll see how that goes. So for our first match between Robin and Gabe, let's look at our bands. Uh, we have a subscription, iBlossom. Thank you very much. We appreciate it. So Robin has his three decks are the Oath of Clerics, the Blue, White, Red Wizards, and Pox. Gabe's chose to ban the Oath of Clerics deck. And Gabe's deck are Netherhops, Fairies, and Dothy aggro. And Robin banned the Dothy aggro deck. So if we go over to our deck screens, we will see that Robin has chosen to play the Pox decks. So we've seen this deck in the. I mean, Robin's done. He's X and one. He's 6-1, so he's done pretty well with all the decks that he's played. But this one is quite formidable. But if you're not familiar with this deck, it is kind of a prison mono black deck. It makes your opponent discard a bunch of spells. One key card is Bottomless Pit. It's an enchantment and will make a player discard a card at random at the beginning of their upkeep. So it's gonna deplete all the cards in the hand and then eventually take over with Curse Scroll or the Rack as a source of damage. And then Nether Hops. So Flint, do you want to talk quickly about the Nether Hops deck from Gabe?
Yeah, we've seen it before. Basically, he wants to build up a bunch of mana and then blow the world up. He's got Earthquake, he's got Jackal Hops, he's got some Disruption, um, and he's got a very nice Boom Goes the Dynamite sign that he shows the camera whenever he gets to cast those bigger cards.
All right, and if we will move over here to our key card screen. So the out of the Pox deck, I expect the Bottomless Pit to be a key card, as this is an enchantment that won't be destroyed by either Jokel Hops or Obliterate. It will always stay in play, and if it comes out early, it really can get rid of the resources for obviously both players, but more importantly for Gabe. And then the other card, I'll say Pox. I guess the namesake card. It is a way to uh, it does a couple of things that I think are key. One is just 30ing Gabe's life total and increasing the clock is pretty good. And then also taking out a number of lands, I think, is good. Gabe's lands will come into play tapped a decent amount of the time, and he might not be able to cast the Joker Hops or Obliterate on the turn that he wants, and Robin might be able to respond with a timely Pox to really set him back. So that's what I expect out of the Pox deck. And then looking over to the Nether Hops, um, basically the two portions that make up the deck name, the Nether Spirit. So this is just a card that lines up pretty well against all of the Pox cards. If it gets discarded, it can come back right away. Innocent's Bloods are really bad against it. All the removals in Robin's deck are pretty bad. So if this is able to chip away a bunch of damage, it makes the Pox deck a lot more in reach for some of the burn spells out of the Nether Hops deck. And then the other card is Jockle Hops, and this card is 6 mana, blows up the world, and it'll take out artifacts, which is pretty key because cards like the Rack or Curse Scroll or Scalding Tongues. So there's a number of artifacts that Robin will plan to commit to the board that might be blown up by the Nether Hops. Did you want to add anything else, Flint?
I think the only interesting piece here, and correct me if I'm wrong, Mike, would be the four Nether Spirits in Gabe's deck. Does he have a way to remove those from his graveyard?
He does not. So it actually is an interesting tension, as it is a important card. The if there are two of them that get into the graveyard, then they won't be triggering. The one thing he does have to do is there's a couple copies of Unmask that if he has a spare one in his hand, he might want to use the Unmask and exile one of the Nether Spirits, so he doesn't have the risk of discarding both. But yeah, that will be an interesting thing to look out for in this match.
Awesome.
All right, let's jump over to the match. And I just want to reiterate that this is a best of 5 match. So our first two games will be played without the sideboard. And then the third through fifth games, if they apply, will be played with sideboard. Let me flip around Gabe's screen. So the higher seed of Robin had the choice to play or draw, and Robin chose to play. And so we will see Pac start things up. So it looks like I guess Gabe he's mulliganing. Okay, so he mulliganed to 6. So maybe he had 2 Nether Spirits and he put one on the bottom.
Maybe. Oof, the Dark Ritual start and the Bottomless Pit.
All right.
Brutal.
So yeah, I mean, like in general, things can be really wonky given that this is just random discard. But in general, I think Robin's deck is a little bit better at playing off the top. But I mean, as far as decks goes, uh, Gabe is pretty good. Like if you get a bunch of lands in play, his deck is pretty good at just playing off the top.
We see matching Dark Rituals there. Although Gabe didn't get to cast his.
Yeah.
The Tim the Enchantress, or Tim the Enchanter, I guess I should say, also known as Ned Flanders' Dark Ritual.
All right. Before I forget, I will put up the poll. So we want everyone to predict who's going to win the first semifinals. So vote for either Gabe or Robin.
Breadbox not a fan of Ned Flanders, it seems.
Wrong Dark Ritual art. We get a lot of talk about this, so I want to hear Breadbox. Which one is the correct art in your opinion?
Looks like Gabe takes the Cabal Therapy and then follows it up with a second Duress. Leaving the first one on the stack? No?
Yeah. it's kind of like the Duress is interesting because it's like I guess it makes sense to take out the discard spells. But there's no guarantee that he would even have that card in his hand, but I guess better safe than sorry.
And if he does keep it in his hand, he gets to take one of Gabe's, which puts him under even more pressure from the Bottomless Pit.
Sure.
Ooh. All right, there goes a Cabal Pit.
Okay. And Curse Scroll. Well, that's something that'll stay in play, so like the Innocent Blood will die, or will not die, get discarded next turn, but Curse Scroll could be a good one. Once he gets the 3 mana, then he'll have a source of damage.
So we got some love for Beta, Dark Ritual, Mercadian Masks, Dark Ritual. Oh, someone likes Tempest. I think Tempest is actually one of the weaker ones, but some people really like it.
Yeah, I'm not a fan of the Tempest one, but I'm not gonna hate. Everyone can just play whatever they want. They all do the same thing, and I'm fine with people expressing themselves in any reasonable way.
Legend has it that back in the day when Magic was really broken, the Urza Saga Dark Ritual actually added 4 black mana.
Yeah. I thought like the first time when I opened up a foil swamp, I'm like, oh, these foil swamps should tap for 2 black mana. I'm like, obviously this was at a point where I was just like casting random overcosted creatures, but
of course.
Yeah.
The glory days.
So one thing to note, the land that Gabe has in play is a Sandstone Needle. So it gets 2 uses, but it adds 2 red each time. So while Gabe might not necessarily have a bunch of lands in play, he has access to 5 mana right now. So the Ebon Stronghold is the other card. And just going back to our poll, it looks like we were split down the middle of who was win. So
this is an interesting spot, right? Because Gabe's got a Spirit, which is great given the board state. But if he draws another one, right? Can he cast it? Is it the Ebon Stronghold?
Yeah, I think that's.
I guess he could.
Yeah, I think he has the Fallen Empire's one. I can't bring that one up, but yeah, And yeah, once it's kind of just like a race for Robin to get to 3 mana because he's got curse scrolls for days. He's and I mean, in the meantime, like the another spirit's a very good one to have right now. Like,
We see one of the three Jackal Hops hitting the graveyard from Bottomless Pit.
yeah, and even if the another spirit is taken out like every turn with our curse scroll, that just means that it's 2 damage that's not going to Gabe's face. So that will
Robin's face.
no it because otherwise the curse scroll would be used if he didn't have a creature to
Oh,
target.
yes,
Yeah,
yes.
yeah. I
Yeah,
guess
yeah,
you could look at it either way,
yeah.
but
Either way, yeah,
but it gives Gabe the life total to draw out because I mean basically he'll need another land and then a Jackal Hops or another 3 mana and obliterate or Burning Wish. So he gets once he has enough mana in play, then there are a number of draws that off the top are pretty effective against this board state. Because I would have to imagine if with just one Nether Spirit, and if Gabe's able to get off an Obliterate or a Jackal Hops, he's looking very good in this position.
Diabolic Edict. All right.
But about intent, Diabolic Edict
Intent.
would be a little less impressive.
Yeah, I do target myself. Intent. Yes. What do you search for if you're Gabe here?
A
Because
land? I don't know.
he's got to be able to play it, right?
Yeah.
I think a land's a good call.
I mean, he it's not like he can be conservative with that Diabolic Intent anyways because he's gonna have to discard it.
Yep.
I think both players don't have cards. Oh, so he's just getting aggressive. That's interesting.
Wow.
I mean, I mean, I guess there are a bunch of lands in his deck, and this just makes his draws a little bit better. But yeah, I this is a pretty aggressive Diabolic Intent.
All right. So
Oh, I
15.
guess Gabe does not have to take a damage because of the Sandstone Needle.
Yeah. Okay, so he's back. Back again.
So oh, we got another spirit for out of Robin. So
And a third land. So now.
no,
See.
Obliterate is discarded.
I guess he wouldn't have been able to play it anyway, right? 2, 4, 5, 6.
Right,
Yeah.
that
Obliterate's
one.
8 mana, right?
Yeah.
So he's going to take a point. What's he casting here?
Reckless
Reckless
Abandon.
Abandon.
So he's making good use out of that another spirit. The Reckless Abandon really shortens the clock. I guess I guess there's a point like if Gabe just draws enough burn that maybe he can just take out Robin quick enough. Yeah, did he not attack with, or did it come into play that turn?
It came into play that
yeah,
turn.
Yeah.
Let's see. How much burn does he have? He's got 3 more lightning bolts.
This Wasteland's pretty good. I mean, it just interesting that he takes out a Sulphurous Springs. Do you think is that what you would take out?
I might take out the Ebon Stronghold.
I think so too. I think like 2 mana is just a little bit more. Makes me a little worried, I guess.
Robin, that's the other thing too. Robin has 3 more Wastelands in his deck too.
Yeah, that's that angle I guess I didn't really consider. And is it easier mana denial plan than Pox, I guess, to set up the land drops a little easier to play than the black sorcery? Yeah, the thing is like it's just that I feel like Robin's clock is not that, I guess a 4 turn is not very slow. If he has
No.
well, I guess there is another spirit, so it's only 2 a turn, right? Because unless Gabe draws another Nether Spirit, then his clock is not that quick, I guess.
Yeah.
But if Gabe were to draw a second Nether Spirit, then I think that, well, I guess I still just don't know what card you're. I guess you're worried about red spells, but I don't know. So this Nether Spirit looks like it was blocked. Gabe's at 14. I guess is that curse scroll damage?
Yeah.
I missed that. All
Yeah,
right.
he scored him last turn.
Is there any difference in terms of using curse scroll as compared to attacking? Like attacking and having a block as compared to. Okay, so the curse scroll named funeral charm, and then um, the another spirit that Robin has will get in. I don't know. It looked like from Gabe's hand gestures that there was a little bit of discussion, unless he was. Oh, he discarded a second Nether
There it
Spirit.
is.
So that is that's very painful. I mean, like now it seems like very difficult. Like Gabe has a very short clock now. His upkeep will will use the um. Did he not? I guess he didn't. I guess he could have. He could have just used the funeral charm on his own Nether Spirit, and then if he did draw a land, then I guess it wouldn't have worked that way. But never mind.
And Robin reveals a wasteland here, so now I think this game is just over.
Yeah, I agree. I don't think there's much that Gabe would have to have a very perfect sequence of draws. Did his Nether Spirit die? What happened to the Lotus Petal? I missed it. I think he
He
got
sacked it
bolted.
to cast a Terminate.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, let's go to game 2 here.
Yeah, Aaron, I think you might consider bringing out, like, siding out a number of Nether Spirits.
Yeah.
Um, it would be like much better, like if there were just some card like Phyrexian Furnace or Cremate or even something out of the sideboard with Burning Wish that could exile some of his. That this particular matchup, I think it will happen a lot that the second Nether Spirit will come into play. I mean, I guess we can go over to the decks, but once again, we won't be sideboarding for the second game. So we will still be looking at their main 60. Uh, yeah, I mean, I thought on paper that Gabe had actually a decent shot in this matchup. That it just seemed like a number of Robin's cards just don't line up very well. Innocent Bloods and Spinning Darknesses and
Yeah.
um, I don't know. It just seemed like it. There might be spots where Gabe really could take a board advantage with another or a Jackal Hops, but that game I guess the turn one bottomless pit was very disruptive. So
It's just brutal. Like one of my opponents played that against me in the spring fling, and it's just pretty oppressive. Especially if you've mulliganed. I mean, it gets really rough really fast.
well, and part of the thing is like it's really hard to sequence any kind of number of turns if you're just discarding a card at random every turn. Like
Yep.
it's hard enough to develop, but it's hard enough to like formulate a plan of like this is how I think the game's going to go and this is what I'm going to do because every turn there's a 1 in 3, 1 in 4, 1 in 2 chance of you just discarding one of those key spells. So pretty tricky. So yeah, that I mean the Pox deck is meant just that uh it's just meant to play like off the top, I guess. The not necessarily like a low mana cost because the like Curse Scroll is 3 mana and
Sure.
I don't know if that's cheap, but just in general, I guess is looking to like against certain decks that like might be able to take out some mana and then have a bottomless pit, and then it's really hard because like if you just don't draw cards in the right sequence, like if you're drawing the spells before the lands, then you're discarding the spells, and then by the time you hit the lands, then you need to draw the spells again, and it's kind of a tricky sequence and obviously something you don't really have control of. So
So here's my question for you, Mike. You know, obviously hindsight is 2020, but going back to Gabe's earlier line where he decides to go for the damage when Robin's up at what, 18 or so life, do you feel like that was still the right line? Or do you think that you would have gone for a land and make more of your draws live off the top of your deck instead?
I would have gone for a land. I mean, I would have
Yeah.
been looking to make the cards like obliterate Burning Wish and Juggle Hops better draws. I mean,
Yeah.
I don't know if it would have made a difference because I don't think he ever really drew a second land in a reasonable time.
It
Um,
may not have.
uh, I don't think he ever saw another Joggle Hops, but
We saw an obliterate.
yeah,
Um,
but even that he had 5 mana, and so 7 mana wouldn't have been enough. But yeah, I think I would have gone for a land.
Yeah, I mean, I think I like the idea too of, you know, trying to draw lightning bolts or things like that later on, right? After you cast an obliterate or a jackal hops, and maybe you've got one land after that or something, then yeah, you can cast those lightning bolts. But you know, opening up the top of your deck to more opportunities to cast cards, I think is probably the better line. And
Yeah.
Early agrees with me. I don't know if you can hear
I don't know if that.
it.
Okay, it's good to know that's an agreeing bark instead of a disagreeing
Yes,
bark.
that's
So
yeah, yes. Get get land, get land. That's
okay.
what he's saying. All right, here we go.
Wait, what? So he's using this lotus petal right away. Interesting. Like,
Duress.
I guess if you're really worried about like a dark ritual bottomless pit type thing, but I mean, in general, I don't know if you want to use your lotus petal on a card like Duress.
He's probably just going to take the duress here.
I think so.
Aaron Dixon chat here. That's a hand. Yeah, I mean that's definitely a hand. That's good. Um, it's no dark ritual bottomless pit, but it's pretty solid. The wasteland's probably the best card in Robin's hand.
Sure. Yeah, and that's obviously one that he can't take. So if Robin's casting Cabal Therapy on the next turn, what card do you think you're naming?
If I'm Robin, I guess he's not really worried about his own hand in this situation, so he's not gonna name a discard spell. Maybe he's just gonna name like a Jackal Hops.
Yeah, I think you named Burning Wish, but
Bernie, yeah, Bernie West, absolutely. You got more time to hit a Jackal Hops.
yeah, and I mean, there's 4 Burning Wish and 3 Joggle Hops. So
Are there only three?
well, there was one in the sideboard.
Ah, yeah, okay. Yeah, I think you're right. Burning Wish.
So we will see Gabe's hand momentarily. I guess there's a reason. Like you could argue that you just let the Burning Wish resolve, but I mean, I guess what do you want to name with the Cabal Therapy then?
Yeah, there's not really much else that you're concerned about, is there?
Is it just
It's
like
just the
the
big mana spells.
is it just the camera, or did like that card seem like super bent? Did you see it?
Uh,
Like
I was
it,
looking at the lists. I didn't
uh,
see it.
oh, it just like in the position it was, it looked like it was like really warped. Um, okay, so we see a hand from Gabe of I think that's a Burning Wish, Duress, Sandstone Needle, and then is that a Dark Ritual?
Yeah, it looks like it. We don't know what Robin named, but it wasn't Burning Wish, apparently.
Yep. I guess Dark Ritual is like a reasonable card to name. But the
Watch
the
it.
the one
Go
problem I
ahead.
guess is like turboing out a Juckle Hops. it's kind of awkward because it's like your opponent has committed less resources to the game. Like they probably haven't played as many lands or they haven't played as many creatures. So like the advantage of turboing it out is not as good. You're using more cards to get rid of less cards, but there's no guarantee that like if the game goes on longer that you'll be able to get those cards because of the discard elements of Robin's deck.
Absolutely. I think you're right. I think Jocko Hops is definitely a card Gabe doesn't want to see in his opening hand. He wants to draw into an Obliterate. He wants to draw into Jocko Hops. Anthony's got some little commentary on waiting to
Yeah, I agree.
name whatever they grab.
There's some value in waiting. I mean the information of his hand might change the way you play certain things, though. I guess given Robin's hand, I don't know if he would really change the sequencing of what he was gonna do. But yeah, I can see waiting, but
You could, right? It's just what cards really matter in Gabe's deck to Robin, really. It's Jocko Hops and Obliterate, right? I mean,
yeah,
granted, other cards do damage and things like that, but the cards that are going to wreck a board state with Racks in play or Cursed Scrolls in play are Jocko Hops and
yeah,
Obliterate,
and
right?
Burning Wish by the same thought because like gets those cards. Yeah.
Exactly. Exactly.
All right, so Robin only has one Nether Spirit, so we won't see the situation where he is drawing a second one to shut it off. But it's nice that he has that one on turn 3.
What would you call that? Like spirit locked? You just can't use your Nether Spirits if you have 2 in the graveyard. What would be a term for that?
Um, I don't know. I was trying to think of like heavy spirited. I don't know that. uh,
How about spirit stymied? You get a
yes,
little alliteration going on.
or maybe
Chat.
is there some like term for like uh
Saturated? How about spirit saturated?
or like um I can't think of like what is the word like when you like extract like the demons from someone or something like um
Exercised?
yeah, like exercised kind of thing. But I guess that's almost like the opposite of that. I don't know.
Yeah, right.
But,
Aaron says, Nether gonna have a creature. Not bad, not bad.
yeah.
All right. So what's going on here? So we finally see the wasteland getting played, right?
Yeah, he waited till he cast his 3 drop, and then used the wasteland.
Would you take the ruins or would you take the sandstone needle?
I would take the ruins probably. Like, if because it just makes it like more awkward for Gabe to cast like spells in the meanwhile. Like, are there 2 counters or 1 on that?
There's 2.
Are there beads? Is that what it is?
Those are beads.
He's
Yep.
using the
And
old school beads. Yeah, I mean,
Ox.
yeah, because if a Jackal Hobbs is what you're concerned about, the land's gonna die either way,
Either way, right?
and Gabe might have to tap that for mana a couple of times and lose it anyways. Excuse me. Oh, we see a Pox, so the timing on this card is always very interesting of when you want to play Pox, and it's always difficult. Like, I don't know why, but like the math of 1/3 rounded up, I always have to like just do it out loud or just like do my head. Okay, it's like they have 4, so 1/3 would be like 1.3 rounded up 2. Okay, there we go.
Totally fair. Totally fair. Damn 1/3. Did Wizards ever print another like 1/3 card ever after Pox? Chat, help us out here
I
if you can
can't
think of one
think
too. I
so.
can't think of one.
I feel like there has to be, but maybe not. 1/3.
Well, and Anthony's right. You got to time it when you have the thirds and they don't. And that's what he did, right? He played the wasteland. He took out one of Gabe's lands and then
Well, that wouldn't change it, right? You're
uh,
still sacrificing 1, and he's still sacrificing 1.
I think you're right.
I guess if he had the wasteland and he had 3 black mana, he would have 4 lands. So, oh wait, well, these life totals have changed. Why is Robin so low?
I think it's the Pox.
Oh yeah, right. So what?
He's a bit under the weather, some
Yes.
kind of affliction or another.
Okay. Yeah, I can't think of any card that mentions thirds, but I my gut just says that there's another card.
How old were you when you saw Pox, do you think?
I don't know. I don't even remember like seeing it when I was like getting into Magic.
I mean, I feel like the reason why I ask is I feel like for me, it was one of those moments where I was like, finally, fractions coming in handy. Like all that math that I learned, my math teacher said that this would come into play, and here we are. Magic the Gathering. Thank you.
I don't know. I went to like, do you know what math counts is?
I don't know what math counts is. I
They
know that
were
there are various programs.
they were like math competitions. You would like there were other schools and whatnot, and so like I would go to those with some of my classmates, and people compete. You'd basically take like a series of tests, and then the best performing ones would move on, and there'd be like a speed round. And I was never like, I mean, I was good at like in my local school, but like compared to the gifted and talented kids that went to this, I was nothing. But it was really interesting. I mean, like, so I felt like that's where I guess it's still like a school setting, but like that's where my fractions, I guess, came into play at least.
Fair enough. Were you a Quiz Bowl kid too, or were you more like
I
the STEM
did.
stuff?
I was better at math than just like random trivia, but I did do some quiz bowl stuff. But
Right on.
um,
All right. Funeral Charm gets a Burning Wish, and Gabe's down to one card in hand. We have Dueling Nether Spirits. There is a rack in play though, so
yeah, I would say advantage Robin then.
sure.
But there is 6 mana available, so that could change things. Though I guess the problem is with that one Nether Spirit from Robin. If Gabe were to reset the board, uh, Gabe's progress would really be stymied by just uh, Robin's Nether Spirit coming back every turn. All right, we do see a Jockalope, so
Where's the notepad here? Oh, there it is. All right.
and boom goes the dynamite. That is a lot of words. Contra Costa County Academic Decathlon. Math runner up in the house.
Nice. Contra Costa County, California.
I had some math counts t-shirts that I wore for a while. I guess that's what
You
I got.
should.
That's
You
what I
gotta
got
own
on
it.
mine. Yep. It was a white t-shirt with a plus, a minus, a multiplication, and division, and it said math counts.
Nice.
All right, so
I
as
was
the players reset their boards, I'm expecting things to go along. Well, Robin's drawn
yep.
2 lands. They're both wastelands, so that I guess there's still a number of cards that actually does cast because he
Yeah.
does have a good number of artifacts. But that's also problematic for Gabe because a lot of his non-basic lands or his lands are non-basics. Reckless Abandon, so
Just going for it. I mean, I guess that you could make an argument that at some point the cards are not safe in your hand. I mean, Robin doesn't have black mana now, but he
yeah,
might later.
yeah, and trading. He's basically trading 4 for 2 at this point, and then uh, so we'll see. Yeah, I guess like yeah, I guess that situation doesn't really ever get like better, so might as well use your
No.
mana while you have it.
Yeah. So Robin wants to draw a Curse Scroll. He wants to
Balding Tongs, the
draw
rack.
Tongs. I mean, Gabe's filling up his hand here.
Yeah, and like so here I'm talking about the camera. Like look at that top wasteland, and like
Oh,
is it just like
yeah.
super bent or is it just like a fisheye lens kind of thing?
Oh, I don't know. It does look really bent. Hey, we got a rating party of 3.
All right.
Thanks, Brigetta 93. Welcome, everybody. We got semifinal matches. This is game 2. Robin on Pox is up 1-0, of course. You can see there. And the board was blown up with the Jockle Hops a few turns ago.
Yep. We are playing a best of 5, so even if Gabe does fall again, he still has a chance to take it down. All right, so here's a lightning bolt that is going to be pointed at the face of Robin.
Yep.
So we're tied up in terms of life. Uh, uh, Robin has the quote unquote mana advantage, though it's colorless mana. Um, so cards that he would have, are there cards that are good from Robin that are like colored? Like Innocent Blood doesn't do anything. Funeral Charm, I guess, would make Robin discard a card. This is a Dark Ritual. A Dark Ritual. Bottomless Pit. What else does he have? A Funeral Charm. Will make you
Nice.
discard a card, I guess. So I think at this point, like with a bottomless pit in play, Gabe just needs to draw lands, a lot of lands, especially because of the wastelands. And Robin
Yeah.
is looking to draw a lot of things. Curse Scroll. I can't remember Scalding Tongues. If when does that trigger?
I mean, a bolt end or an abandon like would be pretty good for Gabe as well, right? If he
Yeah, I
just
guess.
draws the 1 mana red spells.
Yeah,
But we've
uh,
seen what, one bolt and one abandon already?
yeah. Are there? Is there a Reckless Abandon in the sideboard if like he gets to 3 mana and has Burning Wish?
Yeah, there's one reckless abandon in the sideboard.
Okay, so I mean, it's hard to build up that much mana against the two wastelands, but
Two bottomless pits there too is
yeah,
just brutal.
yeah. Right, Crystal Vein, I mean, is good because it's land, but the problem is, I guess, like, it's not just free for Robin to sacrifice a land, because a lot of his things will want to use mana. So before he has to discard to his bottomless pit, he's going to be casting a Funeral Charm. I think I would just cast it on his Nether Spirit. I guess it doesn't make a difference because I guess if you put it on the 2/1, it would just block and then okay, never mind. Yep. All right, that makes sense. Or you no, you can give it Swamp Walk and deal 2 damage, but then I guess you're also taking two.
Yeah.
So right, trying to get tricky, and I guess it doesn't matter. I guess it's just because I mean the two cards in his hand are going to get discarded anyways. So
Also, Gabe doesn't, well, he didn't have any swamps. Now he has one.
oh okay, yeah, no walking on swamps when there's not actual swamps in play.
So Breadbox is asking about basics that Gabe plays. He plays 2 swamps and 2 snow-covered mountains.
Very distinct choice there. The mountains aren't covered in snow, but the swamps are. Oh, yep. Curse Scroll, very good.
Yeah, that's a hell of a draw. And again, the Pox deck just plays so well off the top,
I
right?
guess one card we didn't talk about in this situation is Mishra's Factory. And that one is very good in this spot. I guess with the Nether Spirit, it's low down, but once you get low enough, like their life totals are at 6, like you might throw away a land and deal 2 damage. Right. What are we at? Gabe's turn after he drew? Is that where
Yeah.
we're at?
Yeah, that's correct.
I guess. I mean, I feel like his decisions usually are pretty binary at this point. Like it's like you either play the card or you don't. Like because it's gonna get discarded to bottomless pit. So I'm trying to think what card would like make him think a bunch. The Reckless Abandon I feel like is the only card, but I think that one still you would just fire it off.
Could be a bolt, and he was deciding whether or not to play it now or later.
That one I think I would hold. Um so did Gabe pass the turn? Is that where we're at?
Yeah.
Okay. I think he's gonna fling some fire. That's what I think. I think it's a lightning bolt. Go gadget lightning bolt.
So if you have it, you bolt the factor. Oh, he didn't activate the factor. He just activated the scroll, right?
I think
Okay.
you just need to shoot it at the face, and hope to draw Reckless Abandon or Lightning Bolt.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right, all right.
It was a bolt.
We've got a we've got a top deck. All right, here we go. Oh, oh, that's too much of a hesitation from Gabe for me to think that he drew what he needed.
Yeah.
And so is he just? I guess he's not just dead next turn, right?
He's not dead yet.
Well, wait. Does Dark Ritual make that complicated or no? I guess not. Because there's no way to like.
He could Dark Ritual and activate
No, but
next
then you don't have.
turn, but then he doesn't.
Then you don't have a card in your hand to name Curse Scroll, and
You can't flip mana into your draw step
yeah,
anymore.
yeah.
They're old rules, it would matter.
Well, you wouldn't be able to float mana between your upkeep and your draw. I don't. You just would be able to float it like in your combat phase. I think was the big difference, right? Or maybe it was.
I
Maybe,
thought you could under
maybe
old
you,
rules.
maybe you could. Yeah, I guess maybe that's right. Then won't. Okay. I'm trying to think. I know it was like Mistbind Click was the card I was thinking of. Like there was a while where you could float mana, and I can't remember when it would. All right. So there's a Dark Ritual in Robin's hand.
Yeah, Anthony chimed in. End of phases, not
Well,
each
but
step.
that's what I'm saying. Isn't the upkeep a different phase than the draw step, or no?
I think under old rules they were not. I'm pretty sure you could do it.
Yeah, I agree that I feel like you could do it at one point, but it's a beginning phase. Okay, terminology that is archaic. Maybe it's not archaic at this point. All right. So what happened? There's a curse scroll that got discarded. Gabe's at 2. Isn't he just like dead to a curse scroll? Cabal therapy.
Yeah.
Yeah. Curse scroll
Yep.
activation. Yeah. The terminate was drawn. It was not a burn spell. So I forgot to update my game wins, but 2 games to the Pox deck, and now we get to go to sideboarding. So
Yep.
let's look at the decks to see if the 15 cards will change anything going on here. So the Pox deck is Tormod's Crypt. Anything you're interested in? I guess it only interacts with Nether Spirit. Is that something that's good?
Hmm. What else does he have, right? So he's got,
Nullbrooch is a card I think I would bring in, and
I like Null Brooch.
possibly Unmask, though I don't think Unmask that good. I would definitely taking out that Spinning Darkness. Get that card out of here. Don't think that one is necessary.
No.
I guess it technically could target your own Mishra's Factory Dig in life, right? I think it's just non-black creature. But
It might just be Null Brooch and maybe an Unmask.
yeah, I would not bring in the Fire Exterminator. I think that would be a mistake.
Maybe you take out a Powder Keg for an Unmask. You take out the Spinning Darkness for the
What is
Null Brooch.
Powder Keg would hit like the Lotus Petals we've seen. I don't think there's really anything else.
Let's take a look at Gabe's sideboard and see if they'd hit anything that Gabe might bring in.
All right. We have Cabal therapies, which are okay, not great. Other than that, I think you want to leave everything else in. I mean, Higher Blast doesn't do anything, Dystopia doesn't do anything, and then Anarchy doesn't do anything, and I think Jockelhop's Reckless. You could make the argument of bringing in the Reckless Abandon just is better, like in your main deck, because it's probably not a card you're going to wish for, but maybe it
And if
is.
you
I don't know.
and if you're under a pit, you may not have the mana to
Yeah.
to wish and play it.
So I could see bringing in the Reckless Abandon. I mean, there's also the argument, like they talked about before, the chat was talking about just sideboarding a number of Nether Spirits out, just
Yeah.
because it's awkward if you draw too many of them.
Yeah, I think that's, the terminates aren't great either, obviously, but I do think some Nether Spirits need to come out. They can really really hurt him.
Mm-hmm. Well, the one benefit, I mean, if if Gabe does have to mulligan, like the London mulligan, like really helps out a bunch that you're able to put one card in the bottom. So if he like were to mulligan and have a, if he did keep all four and drew a hand with like two Nether Spirits, an easy pick would to put one on the bottom, and then you feel a lot better about the situation that you have one Nether Spirit safely tucked at the bottom of your library.
Sure.
But egg seems unnecessary. Yeah, I agree. I mean, it's not very high impact, but the cards that Robin has available are not very good either. I would argue that Keg is better than Spinning Darkness.
I would agree.
Though, I mean, you could argue that dealing 3 damage to your Mistress Factory is more relevant than blowing up a Lotus Petal, so I don't know.
Does Gabe run Mistress Factories?
No, no, to your own, like just to
Oh, to
gain
gain
3 life to
life.
like get out of burn range.
Gotcha.
So I don't know. I would imagine that both of those cards were going to be coming out either way, though. With the Nullbirch and the, what was the other card we said?
It was uh, Unmask, right?
Yeah, which doesn't seem particularly great.
It's really interesting matchup. These are two decks that are both trying to just do their own thing, regardless of what the opponent's doing.
Well, I mean, like Robin's like thing is basically like a disruption thing, though. It's more of like his thing is to prevent the opponent from doing their thing.
Right, but it doesn't matter what your opponent's doing, right? He just is going to strip all the cards from your hand. It doesn't matter if you're combo, control, aggro, right? He's not trying to really do
Um,
anything else.
it might matter if you're like Blue Green Madness. like, um,
Perhaps,
there's
but in general,
yeah, there's probably a few decks that like the I'm trying to think of, the the Pox deck does not line up well against. It seems pretty bad against Sly, but I mean I guess that's not like it's just because it's the way it interacts does not line up very well against the Sly deck. Um, I can't think of anything off the top of my head where Pox like the things that it does is kind of beneficial for the opponent.
I
Maybe
do like I do like the madness example.
maybe Reanimator in some sense, like you end up making them discard a fatty and then they discard an innocent blood. I don't know. I don't know.
Symbiotic Worm seems really good against Box.
Maybe with they innocent blood and then they cast Pox. And then you only have 1/3 of 7 rounded up, which would be you had to sacrifice three.
Three. Yeah.
Three.
Yeah.
I guess they still have 4 guys, but Symbiotic Worm is a sweet, sweet magic card.
Yeah, it really is.
Uh,
Really cool design.
I have played with this card in my deck a number of times. You would be surprised how many times I end up just casting this guy. Like I don't know if it's just there's this one match. I don't think I have it up on YouTube yet, but I was playing on Magic Online against Leicester, and the draws we had were so anemic, and I end up casting a symbiotic worm against like a deck with counter spells, and it resolves, and it's very very weird.
I didn't mention this earlier. Like, it doesn't really matter, I guess, if I reveal what I'm playing on stream, but to the viewers, I'm playing a Pox deck in the Fling. And my first matchup was against Reanimator. And Mike, he leads off with an Undiscovered Paradise, which is a problem for land tax. And then later in the game, once I finally think I have a lock, he reanimates a symbiotic worm, and I'm just like,
Well,
you got me.
it
So good against Pox.
but you did not play Pox in this ring fling.
Or not Pox, tax, smokestacks.
So all
Smokestack,
right, all right,
smokestack.
all right. Flint
I
is
got Pox on the brain. Smokestack.
yes, yes. Similar effect, different card.
Yes. Either way, you're sacking something. But yeah, it was just brutal. Brutal. The worm got the best of me.
So symbiotic worm good against smokestack. That's what we learned.
Quite good.
All right.
Quite good. I was playing mono white Pox stack.
I mean, he said land tax, so the crowd might have been a little confused, but
Yeah.
I guess you could maybe play both.
All right. So Gabe's going to take a look at his hand here. I let them know that they can start whenever.
Is there a Magic card with the name Gabriel?
It's pretty biblical. I feel like Wizards would shy away from
I thought
those
there was like
well, maybe like 20 years ago they'd shy away from other types of references, but these
I,
days, just jam whatever universe you
Angel.
want in
Okay,
Magic.
I was gonna say I remember the art and I do not like it. Angel Gabriel Angel Fire. There's no comma here.
Oh, nice.
Let's see if maybe there is a comma. What set is this from? Oh, there we go. Yes, not my favorite
Legends?
art.
Or is it a base set?
It's from Legends, yeah.
Legends, yeah.
They don't. Okay, so at the beginning of your upkeep, choose Flying, First Strike, Trample, or Rampage 3 against ability. So you're paying 7 mana for a 4/4 flex thing. Yeah,
Yeah.
they people got excited about multicolor cards because they were new, not because they were good. All right, so we saw a was that a turn one Lotus
It was a
Petal?
Lotus Petal Swamp, Duress, and he took a rack and then ritualed and played another spirit.
So Robin is left with a swamp, a cabal pit, a curse scroll, scalding tongs, duress, and he's drawn his one nether spirit. He's very good at drawing that guy.
Yeah.
I mean, Gabe is good at drawing his too, but I feel like Gabe earned that right with his deck building. Yeah, apologies to the artist Daniel Gellin. I don't know if he's watching, but hopefully, I guess art's all subjective. Some people might really like that art.
It's
Just like
okay not to like art on a card,
not my
like
cup of
any other
tea.
work of art.
All right, Curse Scroll is the first turn. So, Robin did have a decision of whether want to cast Duress or Curse Scroll. Interesting. I guess that given that Gabe has discarded, or not discarded, but used so many of his resources from his hands, it's probably reasonable that if it's something like a Jockle Hops or a Burning Wish, that he'll have time to cast the Duress later. All right, so the Nether Spirit from Gabe is getting in. So I think Robin wants to get his Nether Spirit out as soon as he can. All right, Scalding Tongues.
Yeah, he's got time. He doesn't need to cast that duress yet, right? He's gonna wait
Mm-hmm.
until a scary spell is imminent.
I mean, I guess the only thing was like maybe if it's like a lightning bolt that when he was tapped out might have been, but that's very random and not really much that he can predict. Scalding Tongues. During your upkeep, if you have 3 or fewer cards in your hand, it deals 1 damage to the opponent. So
I Blossom, I agree. Beast of Bogarden is a cool looking card.
oh, that one I like. Thursa's Legacy
Yeah,
one.
for sure.
Uh, those arts are very different. I just if you look at like the the Beast of Ogre. I'm thinking of what am I thinking of? Beast of Burden is what I was thinking of. Okay,
Uh,
what does it say? I'm like those arts are very different, just in terms of the style. That's what I was thinking of.
so I think we've got Robin down to 14.
Yeah, Cabal Pit is dealt him a damage, so he casts his own Nether Spirit.
And here we go again.
But yeah, that'll slow Gabe down a ton. Like it's another thing. I mean, like I don't think Gabe necessarily expected to play against Pox, but like if he had a card like Cremate, it would just be really just seems like something his deck wants.
Did you read that flavor text on Beast of Burden?
Nope.
It is meant to be nothing but, oh, it's gone.
I'll,
And
I'll,
it's gone.
I'll bring it back. I have the power. If it is meant to be nothing but a machine, Arn finally asked Joria, why did Urza build it to be like me?
It's interesting. Karn like unsure about life and existence, and then he like gets his planeswalker spark and becomes one of the best planeswalkers in the game, at least in Tron.
Yeah.
Very powerful card.
I mean, he costs 7 mana, so I guess it should be pretty powerful. But yeah, I guess even now, if they probably made a 7 mana Planeswalker, it probably wouldn't be as powerful as the original card.
Oh, we're getting yelled at by Robin.
There's a game. Oh, okay.
How is Robin? Is Robin watching the stream?
It shouldn't be.
He should not be.
Robin refocuses his camera. Okay, so Lightning Bolt is going to target Robin. Puts him to 11, and then Cabal Therapy going to take out the Duress. Uh, is there? I mean, is there anything to decide in terms of attacking with Nether Spirit or not? Does it make a difference? I guess if you value dealing damage to Robin and he also would rather like race in that aspect, then maybe. But otherwise, um, I don't know. I can't think of a benefit of why of Gabe attacking or just leaving it. It seems like a moot point, I guess. Right, a funeral charm. This is swamp walk mode. I don't think Gabe has any cards in his hand.
No, he doesn't.
Right. An activation of Curse Scroll after he uses a Dark Ritual.
Maybe he gave it +2, -1 then.
Okay, so he's attacking for 4.
Yeah.
He used the Curse Scroll to take out Gabe's um, Nether Spirit, and then okay. Well, one thing to note, like this Cabal Pit is not inconsequential, given that he only has 3 lands and he's been using it.
No, it's definitely not.
Doesn't have the option to just tap for colorless, pain free. Every time you tap it for mana, it will deal him a damage. Alright, Scalding Tongs triggers. And would you? I guess so. At the upkeep, Robin had the option to activate Curse Scroll. Looks like he did not. Hmm.
Correct.
I mean, I guess Robin would be taking 1 and dealing 2. And if he doesn't do it, I mean, if he does it with Curse Scroll, he's still doing that, right? I don't know.
Gabe has 2 in hand. Hmm.
All right, the Dwarven Ruin. So now Gabe has access to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 mana at most from what he has. So an activation of Curse Scroll and then Scalding Tongues.
10 all.
Yes. Hmm. I mean, Gabe still can get out of this, but I just feel like the needle pushes closer and closer to Robin's advantage.
Yeah, he can play a Jackal Hops, right?
Yes,
That would be great right now.
but a card like Burning Wish would not be very good because of the unmask that is in Robin's hand.
Yeah.
Hmm. First scroll activation. He doesn't have to take a point to use it since he has 3 swamps now. So how many draws from Gabe are good at this point? Hops is good.
Yeah. Um, a land and an obliterate is good.
Land gives you more outs, yeah. Um, but he doesn't have a lot of time. Taking at least 3 a turn. Robin has 2 cards in hand, so interesting that he has 2 cards. Because that, if it's not like something like a Dark Ritual or a Funeral Charm, then it doesn't guarantee Robin to hit off the Curse Scroll.
Ooh, the bolt.
Right? We're at 7 apiece. But I mean, 7 is still kind of a ways away from killing Robin, right?
Yep.
I guess Pox could be a card that could be stuck in Robin's hand that he wouldn't want to cast. But at that point, you might like just cast Unmask. Or I guess you could just have a 50-50 chance of hitting with Curse Scroll and then the next turn exiling the Pox. And then. So Pox would deal some damage too? I don't know.
Mhm.
Crowd is talking about Kaladesh. And
And Mirrodin and Darksteel. Yeah.
but there's a card I enjoyed from Kaladesh that I played. It constructed. This one was a sweet one. Also, it always comes back to MT.
Oh, the pummeler.
It always
Nice.
comes back to MTG Remy that there is a song about
Eight
this
six
one.
seven five three zero nine.
Yes,
Yep.
but
It's a good video.
this card is very fun to play. I'll tell you, I played a red green energy deck and it was it was very good. I'll tell my bad beat story, but I went. It was when they had recently like adjusted the that you could make day 2 by going X and 3. They went 4 and 3 on day 1, and then I went 5 and 1 on day 2, which is pretty good. And then I
Yep.
didn't even cash. I did. So it's like, and there were people who had the same record as me that not even min cash, but like got $500. So there were just so many like X and 4s in that tournament. It was just like a huge right. And obviously my breakers
Hold
were.
on one second. I just got a message from Gabe. Robin forgot to name a card before activating scroll. He was ready to discard it as if it were pit. Should we just tell him to re-roll the die?
Yeah, so he forgot to name a card and then he revealed it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would just redo it. I don't see how that situation could be used to Robin's advantage. And one of those cards is unmasked, right? So, right. The unmask does hit, so that presumably 50-50 coin flip was in Robin's favor. And at this point he's gonna take 1 damage from Scalding Tongues down to 4. Uh I mean, in this situation, what does Gabe do? What is
I mean, Robin has how many in hand?
one?
So he can end a turn,
Wait, wait,
scroll,
wait,
and scroll again.
wait.
Why is the unmask on the board?
Wait, how did he drew? He had a Jogglehops and he didn't. Oh, he doesn't have two. Wait, no, he does have two red. Why didn't he play Jogglehops?
I think it got. I think was it Robin's turn and it got discarded?
No, but how did he draw Jogglehops and not cast it?
I guess he decided not to.
But how are you winning this game if you're not casting Jogglehops? That is a Dwarven ruins, right?
Yeah.
And one Crystal Vein 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Why? I don't understand.
Does he have another card in his hand that he was hoping to cast first? Maybe. I mean, he knows Robin has the unmask, but
Yeah, but
what would he cast ahead of time?
I don't
I don't
know.
know. I don't know. 3, 4, 6.
Okay, there's a Jogglehops. Didn't even attack with his Nether Spirit first. Alright, so Robin uses a Curse Scroll to put Gabe to 2 before this Jogglehops resolves. I guess the reason is I don't know. Alright. Nether Spirit will come back. Robin has a Duress in hand. Yep, comes back in play and won't be able to attack.
Yep.
Robin draws. Robin says, not a land. He says
Is it a
go.
Mishra's Factory? No, no.
That would be very good. Gabe draws a mountain. Okay.
That's a good land to draw.
All right. So Robin, what cards could he draw? Well, Mishra's Factory is probably the best one.
It's pretty legit. I mean, yeah.
Yeah, that will allow any land to threaten lethal against Gabe. Uh, Gabe wants to draw Bolt. That would be a way to get out of the situation that if he could draw a Bolt when
Yep.
when Robin would go for a Mishra's attack, he could block it. Or not block it, he could bolt it. There's a swamp.
Oof.
Is there a bolt here? That's what Gabe really needs. He says, and boom goes the dynamite.
He didn't do it last time, I guess.
Oh, he's updating his sheet.
Yeah. It's a post hoc.
Gabe's checking his gray hair to see if he has anything he could do anything. Gabe's checking to see if this is a lightning bolt. Maybe it changed. The Schrodinger's cat kind of thing, I guess. Mm-mm. Is it a lightning bolt? Is it a lightning
It
bolt?
is like the greatest slow roll of all time if it is.
I do not think it is.
And that's gonna do it.
All right, so we have
Oof.
our first finalist, Robin,
All right.
taking down
Robin is
3-0.
through.
All right.
Let me check with the players while we unmute them for the next semifinal to see if they're up for playing tonight.
Okay. I will jump over to listen to the players.
So that was like it cost you three life, I guess you could say.
Yeah.
One curse scroll and one scalding tongue. So you would have been at 5, which means my attack here would only have been like a 2 to the face. That's all I would have done.
Okay.
Because it's possible I don't even attack with the factory if you're at 5 because I just want the mana.
Right. Well, but you're still at 7, and so Yeah.
Yeah, but if I attack with that, you block the factory with the spirit. I did 2 with my spirit, and I lose a land forever, and that's all it does. It's just 2 damage, right?
With the pox, yeah.
No, with the Mishra's factory. When I had a swamp and a factory, if I attack with the factory. It's possible if you're on 5, I just like wait because I could always draw like land into pit or something. Yeah, I mean, I still think I was probably in a favorable-ish position, but it definitely was a small thing that happened. When I said that, what I was scared of was if you had the dual land in hand, or you had the torch in hand, right? Then you only need to draw the other half. That's why I was scared of it. If you needed to draw both, that's rare to happen anyway. So,
Yeah.
Now everyone on stream is getting to see what it's like to sideboard against someone when all you really want to do is take out the cards to do absolutely nothing, and you just you just board in like, I don't know, cards. Just like these are spells that I can cast that actually might have an effect on the game. I'll put them in the deck.
Do you guys have us unmuted?
What was that?
Yeah, we can hear you. We can hear you.
Yeah.
That's 3 weeks in a row now, Mike. I got you.
Oh, I just saw a finger. Yeah.
Too fast.
So wait, Robin, you brought in negators?
Robin completely mind screwed me. Just so you guys know.
Yeah, I don't know if you caught our last talk. We can talk about that the sideboard later. But did you catch what we guys were Gabe and I was talking about there at the end?
And I didn't hear you talk about the negators though. You said you had a lot of bad cards, basically.
We were talking about the Carvix Torch.
Before I hopped the last time, I was sitting with it in my hand, and I had all this mana. Robin's like, yeah, all you need to do is draw a Carvix Torch, and then you top deck it and beat me. And I'm sitting there with the Yakalhops in my hand, and I should have hopped like 3 turns earlier so that he couldn't keep hitting me with the Curse Scroll.
He was holding a hops, and it was... I had just casually mentioned, like, because he had 6 mana in play, I was at 7 life. And I looked at his deck list randomly at some point, and I saw the 1 Carvix Torch, and I was like, oh shit, if you draw one of the dual lands and 1 torch, I'm dead. That's 7 to the face. And I just like said it. It wasn't, I didn't have a plan. I just like noticed that was the thing he could do. And apparently that made Gabe want to like save lands, so he didn't cast the hops yet in hand. So I kept curse scrolling.
Okay, I was very confused at the point where you were like discarding a Jockle Hops, and I'm like, why wasn't that being cast? And then you cast one the other turn. I was confused.
That's how it came up. That's how
Robin got in my head.
Okay, all right.
So guys, I think in the interest of making sure we can get the second semifinal going tonight, we are going to move along. But I just want to say, Robin, congratulations. Gabe, congratulations on the top 4. It was a pleasure having you, and thank you for playing. Any final thoughts before we bid you adieu?
This was a blast. I said it to Michael the other day, and I really enjoyed it. And as my wife said to me, this is the pinnacle of my web door career so far.
I love it. I love it.
Thank you, guys.
All right.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Absolutely. We'll see you on Wednesday, Robin.
Bye-bye.
Bye, guys.
Okay, we're going to take a brief intermission as we get our second set up. Our players Aaron and Andy will be jumping in and we'll get that set up. So we're going to take a short break. I'll run our little ads for a brief moment as we get our players set up, and we will be back shortly. Okay, everyone, thank you for hanging in there. We have our players set up. We are going to be starting with our second semifinals between Aaron and Andy. Let's go over to the band screen. We have Aaron. His 3 decks were the Jund Rock Fires, Forbidian, and Bant Counter Slivers. Andy has Pirates, Slivadoose, and Wild Zombies. I feel like it was very recently that these two played. Was it the very last week? I can't even remember. But both the Slivers decks are banned again, so we won't be seeing those.
Boo.
I mean, it definitely makes sense, I think, from Andy's perspective when he talked about, like, even if he were to bring the Slivers against the Slivers, a Sliver's Mirror is bad for Andy because of how his cards interact. But
you're right. You're definitely right. It was a smart move, but I'm just a sad, sad panda.
But we see Aaron is bringing Forbidian, so that is what he brought last time. So the blue-black control deck with the card draw engine out of Shadow Mage Infiltrator, looking to disrupt the opponent, discard spells, Duress, Mesmeric Fiend, and then a bunch of counter spells and card draw with the Shadow Mage Infiltrator. And then for Andy, we have, once again, we have the Pirates deck. So this disruptive mono blue deck looking to play a bunch of pirates, as it says, to usually deny your opponent mana and then kind of just have an overwhelming board presence based on that and take over the game that way. So we did see this is the exact matchup that these played recently, and Aaron was able to take it down 2-1. We do have a best of 5, so I don't know if that will come into play. But Aaron is the higher seed, and he has chosen to play first. Oh, I got key cards. Let me go over the key cards real quick.
Ooh.
They're the same key cards as last time. Nightscape Familiar, because it makes the spells cheaper for Aaron, and primarily I think game plan A for the Pirates deck is a mana denial. And then Shadow Mage Infiltrator is a slow clock, but then more importantly it's a card advantage, a card draw engine. Blackface out of the Pirates, because not only if it comes down early, it could deal a bunch of damage, but the Forbidden deck likes to draw cards, so maybe it might catch him in a spot where he's just taking too much damage. Obviously, then with the resource denial, Blackface can deal a bunch of damage. And then Ancient Tomb is a way to speed up the Pirates deck and get the Pirates out a turn earlier, could be very effective. Alright, that's what I have. So we have players. Playmat, need to switch the one around. Okay.
Should I let them know to go ahead?
Yep, we can start. All right, let me adjust my poll as the players start. And Flint, you just can keep everyone informed.
They call me the Informer. Snow and I have that in common. You're probably too young to know who Snow was.
I'm not sure what you're referencing. Is it a movie reference?
It is not a movie reference.
Okay.
Chat, Snow, Informer. What am I referencing? Gabe, I think it was 8 inches of snow, not 12 inches of snow. But anyway, so Aaron starts us off with a polluted Delta, gets a beautiful Mirage Swamp, and plays a Duress. And we see Island, Port, Cloud of Fairies, one of the pirates, and he takes a Chain of Vapor. Is that Rashad and Cutpurse?
Just one of the fairies. It's
Pirates. Yarr.
Chain of Vapor was taken. Yeah, I can't even tell. It's weird. It looks like the exact same art, but just mirrored in that spot. It's very hard for me to differentiate what cards are. I'll go with, I think it's the Footpad, if I had to guess. Let's see here. Rishadan, Footpad.
All right. So Andy goes for Cloud of Fairies. Those get mana leaked. Aaron goes, and we see Wastelands, and those were so pivotal in the first matchup that these two players had together.
Yeah, they took out the mana sources that Andy really needed, and I think he kind of stumbled after that.
Yep.
But Aaron has to make the decision of whether he wants to kind of go shields down and play a card, or if he just wants to stay with his mana up, and that gives more opportunities for Andy to either just play pirates or a card like we see Tanglewire, which gets countered by a mana leak.
Really strong hand here for Aaron.
Yeah, we saw Duress, mana leak, mana leak. All right, well, this Masticore is going to meet a counterspell. I was going to say, if he was able to sneak that into play, then it would actually be pretty problematic. But nasty masty hits the bin. Which one's nastier, Blastoderm or Masticore?
Ooh, Nastoderm or Nasty Masty? Probably Nasty Masty.
Okay.
As they say on Deep Analysis.
Sure.
What's the flavor text, Mike?
The specimen appears to be broken.
Yes.
We see a fact or fiction. That is a good way to reveal the hand. So we see Island, Counterspell, Nightscape Familiar, another fact or fiction, and a Swamp. Ugh. Breadbox says the Blastoderm because of the Shroud. Yeah, we get a Blasticore.
Save it for your creative cube.
Oh, your Blasticore doesn't even have fading. That seems unfair.
Could you regenerate a creature with fading?
It's
Is
sacrifice.
It sacrifice? Okay. Darn it.
I guess it costs 6 green. That maybe it doesn't need to have fading. Shroud is pretty good. All right, let's back to our real world. The pile that I didn't see how he split it, but the Swamp, the fact or fiction. I miswitched cards. All right, we see the Nightscape Familiar. This will make all the spells cheaper for Aaron. And I would say at this point, like, not that it's like lost for Andy, but it seems like things are very good for Aaron.
It's interesting too because the first time they played, I believe Aaron was on the play, and it really mattered because Andy didn't get to run out his pirates in the way that he was going to. And think about this matchup tonight. If Andy had been on the play and he had turn 1, played a land, turn 2, port fairies, and then ported Aaron during Aaron's upkeep, Aaron wouldn't have had the mana during his turn to mana leak, and Andy could have run out his first pirate, correct?
Or the Tangle Wire, yeah.
Or the Tangle Wire, yeah. So again, like really, the being on the play versus the draw really mattered in this game in terms of the trajectory.
Mm-hmm. All right, we see Trade Rider, which I think in general isn't at the best at this matchup, but he's got 2 other creatures. Oh, well, Daze is not as impressive when there's mana untapped. Are we seeing like multiple Dazes, or is he just trying to like put his shields down so that he can resolve a spell? I think that's probably
the latter.
Yeah.
Blossom says it's over. What do you think, Mike? Is it over? Is it out of reach for Pirates?
He says it's over, but he said it's not over, but it's over. Don't misconstrue his word. Yeah, I'll agree with it, but I mean, there's a chance that Andy can still come back, but I think it's a very, very uphill climb.
Yeah.
Have you played against Trade Rider in Premodern yet?
I played against it in a very early match back in 2019. For an early match for me, at least, in my Premodern stint. And I think I beat it 2-1, but there was one game where it took over.
Okay. We see a Chain of Vapor come down, and that gets the Trade Rider, which is, I guess, a good mana exchange. And then he plays a Footpad, which there was just 2 mana up, right? Or did... Oh, no, there was only 1 mana. So an Underground River got sacrificed.
Yep.
So I was talking to my brother, and he reinstalled Magic Arena on his computer last night and went through he went through their tutorial, and we figured out that it is scripted, so it'll be like the same sequence every time. But you play like a Wait Weenie deck, but you get to like go off. It was really fun. It was like a combo deck. It was a good way to hook people into Magic because there were a lot of triggers, and it was very exciting. But
we should play on Arena sometime.
I'm trying to think what card made me think of that, but I don't know. It was We were just laughing about it. All right, so at this point, so we're life totals. We have Aaron's at 17, but he's added another Nightscape familiar. This Tradewind Rider, if it were to get bounced again, would only cost 1 mana, single blue mana.
Better than 5.
Yeah, I don't think the Footpad is really the card you want to bounce. But I mean, I guess it's reasonable because like if Andy's spending 4 mana every turn, and you can just like pay 2 mana for it to have no effect, then you're obviously just in a good position. But here's a 2 mana Morphling. Is Morphling good at 2 mana? This is because
it's all right.
This is because Andy said, I think in one of the bios, he said that Morphling is one of the pre-modern cards that is not good enough.
Yeah. I think it's good. If he were printed today, he'd probably be 2 mana.
There's a greater Morphling.
There is. There's the whole like cycle now, right? Isn't there a ling of every color?
I'm talking about an unhinged one, but there is
that's true.
Brightling, Thornling, Torchling. I don't know what the black one is. Help me out, chat. What's the black one? I want to say Deathling, but that sounds
Corpseling. Blossom's saying there may not be a black one.
There's not a black one? Seems like a missed opportunity.
It's probably in the hopper.
All right, well, chat, let's design the black one right now. If there's not one. My gut says there is, but if there's not.
We could call it Rotling.
Rotling.
It could be a graveyard interaction type Morphling.
Where's my phone? Gotta look it up. I don't know where my phone is. All right. Guess I won't be looking it up.
Anthony has corroborated there's not a blackling.
All right. There's a changeling. There's a black changeling. You liar.
The gauntlet has been thrown, Anthony. Ooh, Mike Arnold with Endling.
Endling.
I like that.
Oh wait, there
is. Oh, it's an actual card.
All right.
Let's take a peek.
Okay. Yep. All right. Yes. This is. I do remember this. I think I drafted this card. Oh.
Menace, Death Touch, Undying. Huh. For 4,
It's like
it seems fine.
Yeah, it's like reasonable. It's not unfair. I like it.
I like the art.
You like the Thornling art?
Pull it up. Refresh my memory. Was that your Thornling impression? It's not up yet. So. Oh my goodness.
That's got to be the sound effect. He's like part foghorn. I do like it though, even though it's like kind of goofy, but it doesn't fit the same. It does. I guess
cute.
I guess the problem is it doesn't fit like all the other ones have. I think the like the mirrored image kind of thing. This one does not. And Brightling.
I believe. Oh, there's Torchling.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Yeah, all the other ones kind of fit that.
Doesn't seem great.
Huh? Oh, Torchling. No, Torchling. No. Thornling is like reasonable.
Yeah. Really. Brightling. I like the art on Brightling. I think that looks cool.
This card gets a lot of black. It's in the vintage cube, and no one likes it. But I mean, like the card, like
it seems good
in a normal like limited environment, it would be really good. But
I mean, 3. Yeah, I mean 3 for the 3/3, and it's got the bounce factor, which is nice. It's just I guess if you're playing a vintage cube, you could probably do a lot more powerful things than play a 3 mana 3/3 that bounces.
Yeah,
that's not bad. It's not bad at all.
Yeah, I know I had like Thornling in iterations of my cube for a while, but I don't think he makes the cut anymore. But
Superman is still legendary, especially with damage on the stack. Just such an iconic card from back in the day.
he's not legendary.
Not literally legendary,
Oh, okay.
figuratively. I should know better than to use keywords.
Yeah, I mean, at some point we just like won't be able to describe any card because all the cards will be key, or all the adjectives will be with keywords. Or I guess they're now. Wait, they're nouns, right? Keywords are nouns. Yes. Are some of them adjectives?
They can be adjectives too, I believe, like haste.
Well, haste
No,
is
haste
also
is
a
a
noun.
noun.
Are there any adjective keywords? There's got to be, right?
I'm thinking.
I'm sure there's a bunch, but like we're probably just thinking of all the basic ones.
Is undying? Undying could be an adjective. Could also maybe be an adverb.
Yeah. I guess it could undying being a noun. I don't.
Indestructible. That's both. That could be both a noun or an
That's a
adjective.
noun.
Right?
Yeah, that could be a noun. All right. Well, we'll keep thinking about this while the players mulligan, and then we'll move back. Flying is a noun. Flying an adjective. This is weird. Maybe it's both. Like
Flying's a verb, right?
well, for sure it's a verb. Yeah, but
It could be an adverb. It could be an adverb. Oh goodness. Well, all right. We will cut the grammar talk and we'll get started here. Sorry, everybody. These are the conversations Mike and I have when no one else is around. Yeah, thrilling. I know. Anyway, all right. So we see what duress here from Aaron after Andy plays an island, and what does he take? Snapperooski.
yes. So the
Ooh, all right. So double Ancient Tomb here after a Cloud of Fairies to drop. Yar. Ye be sacrificing a permanent. Right? Is it not?
yes. Yep. So how much damage do you have to take? All right.
4.
Worth it. Definitely worth it.
Totes worth it. Oh, there's the wasteland. Of course. All right. So 16 all.
Well, Wasteland's not that bad. Like when for Andy, like when he has some pressure on the board, and it's the only land that Aaron has. So
Totally true. And if Aaron had another pirate, what's the 3 casting cost one? Then it does prevent that from happening. And he doesn't even have another land as a follow-up. So that's a little rough.
I don't know. These cards might go the distance. Well, we saw a Cloud of Fairies deal a ton of damage in the previous matchup with this. And every time this footpad gets in, it makes it much easier for wait. Oh, we see a recoil that get dazed. Okay. So yeah, the 3 will come through. And these guys are just crunching in over and over and over. We see another recoil. Sure. Okay. But I mean like there's not that many removal spells like from Aaron's deck, right? Like there's the creature removal spells I think are just like recoils, right? Or like so
I believe so.
so the way to interact with this resolved Cloud of Fairies is Trade Wind Rider. It is Morphling.
Yeah, he just has the 2 recoils.
Okay. He'll need a. Well, it looks like he's got a Morphling here. And I mean, like, given that Andy only has 1 land, this just seems.
He's got to have a daze.
He's got it.
Come on. Come on. Ah. Rats.
This Morphling gets to attack, thankfully, because it is able to untap. So there's no real risk in sending him in. Just 3. Yeah, I was gonna say things look good for Andy, but now I would no longer make that statement. Like, what does Andy need to do from the spot? Like, a resolved Morphling is very difficult for him to deal with.
Yeah.
And that's a Fact or Fiction. It's a the
Scoop.
end of turn Fact or Fiction you lose is a pretty thematic here. We see 2 Tangle Wires, 2 or a Cut Purse, a Foot Pad. Those are the cards in Andy's hand. So
Yep. All right, let's take a look at the sideboards.
we can do that. All right, what do you think Aaron wants to bring in against the Pirates deck?
Engineered Plague.
I don't think
Is
you
it
do.
good? Is it even good? You
it gets-
literally just stop them from hitting the board.
It's good against the Cut Purse, but it would still trigger, but it would die immediately.
Yeah.
So a null hits Tangle Wire. Was there another card? I know we talked about this last time. So if we go over the Pirates, like it hits.
Yeah, let's take a look at Pirates.
Yeah. A null hits Tangle Wire, Black Vice, Masticore, a couple of Masticores. I think a null is reasonable.
Yeah, I agree.
I know Andy brought in Stifles last time. I don't think he brought anything else. I don't remember what he took out, but it doesn't seem like a lot is changing in the sideboard game. Seems like it's going to be pretty close to what we had for the first 2. Do you think Aaron is like a heavy favorite in this matchup, or do you think it's pretty close?
I mean, it really just comes down to the first, I would say, 3 turns of the game, right? So, the scales really just tip the other way. I think if Andy has a nice opener here and Aaron doesn't have a wasteland, maybe, then Andy's favored.
I mean,
But
Aaron,
otherwise, it really flips the other way big time.
Aaron does have 4 wasteland, right?
I believe so. Yeah, 4.
Yeah, so
4 wasteland, 4 river,
yeah,
2 swamp, 1 marsh, 4 calling birds, 3 French hens.
2 turtle doves.
Ah,
There was this one Christmas season that we heard this alternate version of that song, and I just know it ended in the first day of Christmas my true love gave to me, and it was a beer, and me as like a 10-year-old kid or 12-year-old kid or whatever thought it was so funny. Also, like it was presented really funny, and like I don't know if we ever heard that song again, but every single Christmas whenever we would hear that song, we would somehow mention that one version we heard on the radio that one time. And yeah, it eluded us, I think.
I have heard that specific version.
I've heard one that is like closer to like it's like a comedian or like a country-ish version. Like I know I've heard like something similar to it, but it was not the same one that I heard originally. Not that it like really makes a difference, but yeah, I'm sure it's out there in multiple forms.
Players looking at their hands here. Two keeps. Yep. Island go.
Maybe Aaron will reset his life total. I don't think he wants to start at 6. That would be problematic, I think. I think I would give the edge to Andy if Aaron started at 6.
For sure. As soon as he cracks that polluted delta, I think he'll he'll make
Sure.
that change or adjustment. He's going to crack the delta and gain life. Oh.
The powerful magic
works.
art. Ooh. We see a stifle.
Oh.
All right. Stifles, we talked about it. They don't have too many things to trigger off of, but the benefit of hitting that land, I think, is pretty powerful. All right, Rishid Import. We see a Cloud of Fairies. Untap, go. I'll tap your island. I've got a 1/1. You're not at 6, but maybe someday you will be. Oh, we see a wasteland. Those wastelands are very good at getting rid of ports.
Ports and tombs.
Right, well, there's another Russian port. So there's 1 damage. Let's see how many turns this Cloud of Fairies will attack. What's the over-under on it? Would you, if I said 7, you'd pick under?
I'd pick under.
I'll say 7.
Okay.
Right, so we're at 2.
Yep.
Yeah. And even if it gets bounced, it still counts.
Can I change my answer now?
Sure. I mean, there's only like 2. I guess there's 2 recoils and 2 trade run or 3 trade run riders. But all right, we see a footpad coming down, and that gets a land. So there's a wasteland for the Russian import. I mean, like,
wow.
The wasteland there, like it just. I mean, it's fine, but the problem is like that just means that Andy doesn't have to spend 2 mana every turn to port a land, because Aaron's card is gone. So here we see a Chain of Vapor on his own creature. So also the Cloud of Fairies attack 3 times, right? I guess you might be right because Aaron might die first.
Yeah, I think this game might be over.
I agree.
I mean, Aaron can't have very many lands left, or very many lands left in his hand, right?
Probably not. I mean, he could, but all right. Was that 4?
Ooh.
We have 4. All right. Well, I think 5 would have been the right answer.
That's a scoop.
Oh, well, denied the chance. All right. Well, 7, I guess, was way too many. That Cloud of Fairies had a friend, and
and Cloud of Fairies' friend had another friend.
Yeah, that was everything I think Andy wanted to do. The stifle was really good there. And all right, so the Pirates are on the board. They're on deck.
And now, nice. And now being, on the draw, it really does matter for Andy, right? We've seen this multiple times.
Yeah, he would really like to. Well, I guess he would have to break serve twice. So even if he does able to sneak out this one, you said the play draw is pretty important with the effects of the pirates.
It's just like with the Solfatara deck, right? We have these two, very tempo-y, land-focused decks, and being on the play is just so huge.
Yeah.
So we didn't do a poll, but chat, shout out who you want to win and who you think will win.
Did I not run the poll?
I don't recall. I don't think that you did.
I think I did.
Maybe I missed it.
I might have missed it too, but yeah, I ran it.
Who was the winner that was predicted?
Doesn't say there were any votes. Did I never run it? Maybe I didn't.
I don't think that you did. So I love the paparazzi 12 Days of Christmas reference there, Mike. Yeah, so shout out chat. Who do you want to win and who do you think will win? One and or the other. What do we think? Let us know.
Well, I definitely want Pirates to win this game. That's what I would say. Because that means we have game 5. So
I would love a game 5 as well.
I'm undecided on who I want to win the match.
All right. So Blossom says, I'd like to see game 5, but I think Forbidding is just a better deck. Okay. Anthony says, I want Pirates to win. It's cute and interesting. But all right. So there's some love for Pirates for sure, but people are thinking it's probably going to be the other.
Aaron has won enough lately. He
just won.
Yeah,
one.
it's not like he's like just on a string of dominance. He did win the tournament yesterday, but
that man is drunk on power.
Yeah.
So I personally would love to see Pirates win. Big fan of both these guys. Love both the decks, but just the spice with the Pirates deck is so on point with the theme of this series that it would be cool to see Pirates advance.
Yeah, I guess my heart I would go to the Pirates deck. I have trouble seeing it winning 2 games in a row though.
I don't think it's gonna win, but I would love to see it win. Yeah, I think we're on the same page. I do think that Aaron probably has a better matchup against Robin. I think his decks are stronger than Andy's just in general. So if we want a closer finals, then Aaron would probably need to advance, but got to show some love for the Pirates.
All right, looks like we got 1 mulligan from the Pirates deck. So was Mercadian like the first set that had pirates? Maybe there were cards that were like retrofitted to be the pirate creature type. From, like Legends. Like I'm trying to think, what's that one
pirate ship?
No, I don't even know if that's a pirate. The curly-haired pirate from like Legends.
Visions had pirates. People are saying too.
Oh, did it really? I mean, like Reef Pirates, I guess. I think that's from like Homelands. This is summon ships. Ain't no pirate. Maybe it's errata. But...
No, it's still ships.
Really?
Wizards missed that one. I mean, maybe. I kind of love that it's ships as the creature type.
I do not know. What is this? Kuka Masa Pirates?
Skeleton ship.
From Visions.
When we used to play Kitchen Table Magic, I had a friend who played a Tim deck, and he had Skeleton Ship in it as well. It's a very nostalgic card for me.
This is a card I did not know existed. When this attacks is not blocked, you may choose to have it deal no damage depending to defending player this turn. If you do, gain control of target artifacts player controls. Alright. Not like unplayable. Alright. We see a turn 2 Cloud of Fairies. It is without a Rishon import though. That's the difference between all the other games. Alright, how many times is this Cloud of Fairies gonna attack?
I'm gonna say 6.
6. I'll say I'll just do 7. I'll have my hope.
All right, excellent.
All right, we see a Stifle gets a Wasteland. Protect that Ancient Tomb. Okay.
Yep.
So the
Stifle's doing the Lord's work.
Stifles have come to Andy in the early game, which is ideal for him. All right, deck number 2. Or is that 1? Did he take a damn? Yeah, it was 2. Okay. Black Vice. All right. This is a key card,
It's a very key card.
according to me.
According to key analyst Mike
So
Hoyt.
what if you just like stop playing spells? Like, how
If you're
can
Andy,
yeah? Like, can Aaron get under the Black Vice? Oh, did this get countered?
he can if he counters it. So Andy thinking here, does he have 2 dazes in hand? What's going on?
Days for it. Days, indeed, indeed.
Okay.
Okay, so going back to the strategy that I have of
Oh, what a play. Wow. That was great.
yeah, that sequence definitely worked out.
Yeah. Really, really well played.
Okay, so if Andy just doesn't play spells, so Aaron can play Nightscape Familiars, he can play Shadow Mage Infiltrator, but he can't really attack with it that much. Play a Trade Wind Rider, he can play a Morphling. Morphling would be the best one to play, and then lands. But like all the other cards are like, there's so many counter spells. So here we see a Nightscape Familiar, so that'll at least keep the Rishadan Cut Purse at bay. But
Not the fairies.
Yep. And did damage? Did he take? Oh, he took 1 from the Black Vice. Okay.
Yeah, he's at 17.
Oh, he's attacking. Oh, I guess yeah. This is the chance to attack. Yep. So.
Yep.
All right. So he's under. Oh, he takes 1 from the Black
He's down
Vice.
to 14.
Okay. So what is our? Is that 3 for our count?
That's
for,
3.
For
Yep.
our fairies.
All right. So Aaron's thinking here. I mean, he can play a recoil, but it's just not good in this scenario.
With counter magic, like recoil and the Black Vice could be a reasonable line.
Yeah, once he has the mana for counter.
Yeah, you could just do it end of turn, yeah, and then like.
Yep. Anthony, you absolutely need to see this to its conclusion. Most students are going to sleep through your lecture on Kant anyway.
The players have been moving at a quick pace, so. All right, that's attack number 4. That would be sweet if I would have had the polls up for like the channel points, so everyone to wager of like, will Cloud of Fairies attack more or less than like
Yeah,
6.5 times? Then everyone ever has to bet, gamble it away. I need to figure out a thing to do with the channel points, have some rewards.
All right, so he's tapping mana here during his main phase. 2. What's he running? Another familiar?
No Shadow Mage.
Pretty good.
Well, kind of. Wait, how is? Oh, okay. At 13, Andy has the life totals off. I mean, the Shadow Mage just can't. I mean, it can attack, but it's almost a problem with the Black Vice in play. All right. Was it the 5th attack?
Yeah.
Okay. We're getting there. Getting there, folks.
All right. So he'd
right.
be infiltrating.
Shadow Mage has no fear. Yeah. Not have the 2 damage from an Ancient Tomb.
He does have fear, though, doesn't he?
He does. he Yeah, I guess. Which is kind of weird. I mean, like, the thing is, like, if I'm attacking with a creature with fear, like, if the creature has fear, why would that make it more formidable to block? Like, why would that make... Like, you know, it doesn't sound like the right adjective. Well, fear is a noun. Oh, we're back to this.
Oh God. So here come the fairies.
All right, that's 6.
All right. So Andy, you're not allowed to attack with your fairies anymore.
don't don't message them.
Hold on one sec. I gotta finish sending this message. What were you
Pirate,
saying?
Pirates are fearless. I do agree. Well, I always remember like the original flavor interaction was a soulless one getting countered by remove a soul. Should that be allowed?
We can see a snap here. Boomerang. Okay.
All right. Well, that's another card in the hand. All right. Well, so Annie again still has a different life total than Aaron does, but I'm matching Aaron, so I'm going to go with what he has. Boom, boom.
So just an attack and a pass here, huh?
Yes, but I mean, I think you're fine with that. That
Uh-oh.
is also that is attack number 7, right?
It is. Here
Okay.
comes the phone police.
All right, that one you're not as okay with, but I don't know if there's much he can do. So how many cards are in Aaron's hand? I just feel like I would have thought he would have been taking more damage from the black face.
He's just been able to run out those familiars and other cards and lands. So
Yeah.
I think he's just been able to stay mostly under it.
Not every day you see 2-mana Morphling. We saw 2-mana Morphling like 2 games ago. But yes, I agree. I don't think I've ever seen a 2-mana Morphling prior to tonight. All right. Well, at least the Cloud of Fairies got to attack 7 times. That's the important part, right?
Yeah, that's what really matters.
Oh, the Morphling goes in. It gets 3 damage through. And I mean, maybe there's a chance like if these aren't like cards like Duress. There's still a Shadow Mage in his hand, right? Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, there is. There it is.
So he's still under the Black Vice. Could a Tangle Wire ever resolve from this situation? I guess that Tangle Wire wouldn't do anything here with all his Nightscape familiars. We got more Cloud Fairies. Okay. They were played and not cycled. I guess there's an opportunity that maybe like you could attack with 2 and get 1 damage through. But I don't know what card.
There's the annul. There's the annul.
A Mana Leak.
Or no, it's Mana Leak.
Mana Leak for the Tangle Wire that Andy tried to cast.
Yeah.
But I don't know what cards Andy even wants to draw from this position. Can you think of anything? Maybe the
I'm looking at his list and there's not much. I mean, he's in a pretty rough spot here.
yeah, because I mean like all his pirate effects are they have a minimal impact because of just the number of permanents that Aaron has. He's even attacking with the Shadow Mage, so this cut purse will get in the way of Morphling as it doesn't have flying right now. Take 1 damage. Aaron will draw another card.
Yeah, I hate to say it, but I think the pirate ship has sailed.
Yeah. Unfortunately, it's heading to a different place other than the finals, I think.
Yeah.
A Mesmeric Fiend. Okay. that shows the hand of. I think it's just the spread of pirates, right? Is that, or is it two of the cut purses? I think it's one of each.
Yeah.
Which one do you take? You take the footpad, I guess.
Sure.
Oh no, he took a cut purse. Interesting. But yeah, I think okay, so he can deal one more damage, I think, with these Cloudifairies. 8 times that Cloudifairies is attacked. This Morphling could untap. Oh no, he's just gonna take 2. Down 8. I guess the fear of something coming down post combat was enough for Aaron to say, "I'll take an extra damage."
Here comes the team. Here comes the team.
Many creatures are attacking. 1, 2, 3, 6, 7, 8 damage without any pumps from the Morphling. 8, 9, I'm guessing.
Does he know all the cards in Aaron's hand?
Yes, because an island was added. So
is that just game?
I think so.
You can pump up to 13.
No, he can pump one more time. It was 8 naturally, and then he can pump. Can pump twice.
Okay. It's not a bigger creature. Oh,
no.
There's a scoop. Okay.
Right.
Well,
the Pirates fall to the Forbidden deck, and Aaron will move on to the finals to face Robin on Wednesday. But we are going to chime in to hear what the players say.
All right.
Between our two matches.
So the duresses came out against you. I was looking at I was looking at a way to take the trade winds out as well, but I just couldn't find cards to make it work.
Yeah, taking out duress makes sense. Yeah, I was hoping all those mulligans. I mean, it obviously paid off in game 3 because I mulliganed into like the perfect pirate hand and just did the thing even on 5 cards. So I think mulliganing pretty aggressively is not a bad place to be with this deck because you just need that explosive start. But really, I really wanted the black vice in one of those hands. I mean, I drew the black vice in that last game, but it was just a little too late because that's like I feel like that's like my Delver, in this matchup at least.
Yeah,
If I can get that on
it's
turn 1,
brutal.
and just, yeah.
Because I can't factor fiction. I had the factor fiction just sitting there, and like at the end of every turn, I'm going like, should I?
I was ready for that 5-0 split.
I was gonna say, yeah. After last time, you had to be.
Yeah, but yeah, I feel like, I mean, yeah, the banning decision was funny. I'm sure you guys were wondering about that, but I really thought because last week I was talking so much about like, oh, okay, yeah, I probably should have played Wild Zombies. Yeah, next week maybe I'll choose better. Blah blah blah. So I was like, okay, he knows I'm gonna be on Wild Zombies. Like, he's probably gonna play the rock deck just because it's marginally better, probably. So I was like, okay, I'm gonna juke him this time. I'm gonna level him. I'm gonna I'm gonna hit him with the pirates.
So, Aaron, what was your thought process on the banning and picking?
I thought I didn't think I really liked the Fires deck against Pirates, and this deck is just fine against everything. Like, there's nothing that I feel it's got bad. I don't want to play your Slivers deck with it. That's for sure.
Yeah.
I don't want to play anything that quick ever again. So I know me saying that, but sure.
Right, Mr. Sly.
Yeah.
I felt like I don't know. Yeah, I feel like I kind of had like a little bit of the gambler's fallacy going on. Like, I'm due with the pirates. Like, I had so many mulligans, I had so many bad draws. Like,
I'm just gonna hit it. I'm gonna hit the turn 1 like double black vice, or I'm gonna hit the, I don't know, the awesome starts, and my deck just would not cooperate. So yeah.
We talked about it a little bit, and honestly, if you think about game 1, Andy, if you'd have been on the play, you probably would have won that game.
Yeah. And
Right.
game 2, also, if you didn't have the wasteland for the tomb, I think it was game 2, I just had the tangle wires all rolled up. I was gonna smash them, but yep. Yeah, I definitely, being on the play is definitely pretty huge with this deck.
Yep. Just like the Solfatara deck, right?
Yeah. I feel like it has a little more game on the draw. I knew it had game on the draw against the Fires deck, because I tested that. I pulled up the 2 decks like side by side and tapped out, and I tested that quite a bit. Unfortunately, that matchup never came to fruition, but
Fair enough.
yeah,
Well,
to be fair, I didn't think Wild Zombies was like a huge favorite against either one. So
Yeah, I think I just picked the deck that had the best odds against both. I liked it in this matchup. I felt like it could win against Wild Zombies.
No, it totally can. Yeah, anything with duress and whatever. Yeah, if you take my action stuff like my survival or
and the wastelands against a deck with so many non-basics.
Oh, totally. Yeah, I was scared of those either way. Yeah, I feel like overall my decks honestly just didn't line up that well against yours. So I think you were pretty just favored to win no matter what happened. So yeah, congrats.
Thanks, man.
Yeah, hopefully the hot streak continues and you take this one down too.
yeah.
I don't know who's gonna stand up to Robin. Robin looks strong every time.
Well, you're the only option left, so
I know.
Yeah, it's got to be you. You don't need to look around the room, Aaron.
Sure.
Yeah. But yeah, so I know it's getting late, but yeah, just I want to thank Mike and Flynn. It's just such a huge honor to be chosen for this, and it's one of my favorite pieces of content. And it was just so much fun from start to finish. So
glad to have you.
Huge thank you.
If I may, let me just jump in really quickly, personally, and say thank you, Andy, for participating. I know it's come up time and time again, but your articles on the Premodern blog are one of the reasons why I started playing this format. Your articles, your deck lists have been inspirations for me building decks and riffing on different archetypes. I love your Instagram, and thank you for all that you have done, right, leading up to this point, and all that you continue to do.
That's awesome.
Really, really awesome. Really,
Thank
really.
you. I really appreciate that. Yeah.
Absolutely.
And yeah, I'm glad I went out with the Pirates. I mean, that was that I went out having fun. So
all right.
Yeah. All right.
Well, I guess that will wrap things up. It doesn't seem like the chat had any questions about anything in the match. We were finding ways to entertain ourselves. We were making bets on how many times the Cloud of Fairies would attack in a game per game. So I set my over under at 7 multiple times, and one of the games you got there, you got 7 attacks with the Cloud of Fairies. So
that's funny. I wasn't counting, but yeah, I believe it.
One of the games you won too quickly, but
right.
Yeah. Stupid Masticore.
Yeah, so
yeah. And Masticore is really good.
It can be, yeah. I feel like it was awkward. A lot of times I drew it against Robin. It was awkward, and a lot of times I drew it with this deck. I feel like I drew it more than I should have with just 2 copies, and it usually didn't do much. But that one game, it definitely sped up the clock. So yeah, I mainly with that, I just wanted to have something that didn't die to like lightning bolt and pyroclasm, because everything else in the deck does. But yeah, cool. It's a fun deck.
All right, well,
really cool deck.
Thank you guys for fitting this game in. I know it's a little bit late, but
yeah,
appreciate the match. I think the crowd enjoyed it as well.
Awesome.
And we want to thank you both for being on here, and good luck, Aaron, in the finals on Wednesday.
Yep.
Thanks very much.
Yeah.
Good luck.
Super excited.
Yeah. And we will see you then. But
all right, it's been a pleasure.
All right, thanks, guys.
Good night, guys.
Awesome.
Thank you. Good night.
Thank you so much, guys.
All right, we'll jump over briefly to our schedule. Looking forward to Wednesday, we will have our finals. And Flint, do you want to talk about how the finals is structured? It's a little bit different than what we've done, even compared to what we did tonight.
Yes. And I think I tried to explain it last time and it still wasn't clear. So the way the finals will work is going into it, both players will get to ban one of the other player's decks in advance, right? So situation as normal. Then when it's time to play, each player will select one of the two remaining decks to play that night. They will play a best of 3 match. After the best of 3 match, they will then take their other non-banned deck and play another best of 3 match. After the second best of 3 match, if it's tied, they will play a third and final best of 3 match where each gets to play their banned decks. And that's the way that the final will work.
Yep, so we have potentially 9 games if all 3 matches go to 3 games. And we could be done as soon as 4 games if 2-0-2-0. But yep, so the banned deck won't be able to be played unless they go to a third match. So
yep.
So looking forward to that. We have Robin will be facing off against Aaron, and it'll be an exciting conclusion to the Premodern Showdown Series 2. So I think that pretty much wraps everything up for tonight. Want to take a brief moment to thank everyone who is able to watch live. Thanks for the people in chat to keep things going. Thank you for the subscribers and the followers. And thanks everyone to the Premodern community. We're growing. I feel like it's kind of exciting when like more and more people keep coming into this, and as more people just get excited as certain things are new to them, it's really fun to see everyone get really excited about this really cool format. So
yeah, I would just echo that. Obviously, it's such a cool community, and we're really excited to see the things play out in the series, but also more generally in the monthlies and beyond. You know, even with the more recent tournaments like the Easter Championships. And thanks for watching, everyone. It's really awesome to see all the comments and chat and all the banter.
yep. All right, so we hope to see you on Wednesday as we finish off the series with the finals. But until then, take care.
Night, everybody.